everyone, it's Cassie and welcome to This Budget Life. Today I'm doing a fun little tutorial of how I am making my cash envelopes, and I do them, the method is still the same, but some of the materials I use might be a little bit different than how people are already doing their envelopes. So I just wanted to share how I've been making these. These have a clear back to them and a design on the front. And this is just one method that I was experimenting with. There's another method that I do want to share for people who want to have like really cute clear envelopes but don't have a Cricut machine. So if you want to also see that tutorial, please just go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. But let's get started on this awesome tutorial for how I have made my clear cash envelopes. Now, the main thing that I needed to know when I was making my clear cash envelopes was I needed to know the dimensions. And for some reason, that was kind of hard for me to find. I was able to find the dimensions that I wanted to use for my cash envelopes. And I wanted my envelopes to be 3 inches high and 6.5 inches in length. Now, if you are going to be hole punching these, I wanted to add an additional 0.75 inches when I need to hole punch. And when we get to that portion of the tutorial, you'll be able to see what I mean by that. Some of the materials that you'll want to use, that I use in particular, are of course going to be whatever my design is. So I have already cut out my 3-inch by 6.5 inch designs. I personally made these on Canva. What I like the most about making my own cash envelopes is I can personalize them in whatever design that I want. And one of the best ways that I do that is through Canva. So many people utilize Canva for their cash envelopes because there's just so many cool fonts, so many amazing templates, and you can really personalize your design that way. So that's the software that I've used. You can sign up for a free account. I personally have a pro account, but you can do so much stuff with the free account. I used the free account for years before I even signed up for the pro account. Now, the other thing that I use that's a little bit different is going to be clear projector sheets. And those are the two main sides of the clear cash envelope that I use. Now, if you want to see the brands that I'm using, I'm also using Scotch laminating sheets, but any laminating sheets will be fine. And again, these are the particular projector sheets that I use for all sorts of crafts that, I use for paper crafting. So these I had a bunch of. As far as the paper that you want to use when making your cash envelopes and printing your designs on, if you want to print them on cardstock, you'll find that that's a little bit more sturdy, obviously. I do have 80-pound cardstock that I use, when I do all sorts of fun arts and crafts. So 80-pound cardstock, but there's also glossy paper. There's just all kinds of things that you can really go the extra mile. But you can also use just regular plain printer paper if you don't want to be that fancy, or if you don't have it in your budget to go out and get specialty paper for one project. You can do it with printer paper and it's totally fine. Some other tools that you might want, these are completely optional, but these are what I ended up using. I had a paper trimmer and I have a mini 6-hole punch, but you can use whatever you need to cut everything down to size. Regular scissors, you can use slice tools, you can use an X-Acto knife, a rotary cutter, and the same thing with the mini hole punch. You honestly don't need the mini one. You can use a singular hole punch and that also works just fine. Okay, I didn't even press play the last time when I lined these up. I was like performing little bitty crafting surgery. But basically, once you get everything cut down into the measurements that you want, okay, you're gonna have one sheet that's your design, and then you're gonna have one sheet that is your transparent film. Now, I use this because I have a lot of this lying around. It's, one of the things that I'll use in my various paper crafting, and you can use it in your planners and stuff. But of course, you've probably seen the method where you cut laminating sheets. I don't particularly like that method because I don't like wasting lamination sheets with all the cutting. So this is why I do it that way. And then I will line them up into my laminating pouch. that I have here. I have them spread out quite far because again, I'm gonna be doing different measurements so that way I can hole punch at the very end. And we've got my laminator ready. So let's go ahead very carefully with this step so I don't ruin how I've lined them all up. Now I don't particularly like this laminator because it's like always at an angle. Can we do it this way? Okay, this might be a better angle, at least for filming. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Not because I don't think it'll work, but because I'm filming and you don't want to screw it up when you're filming a tutorial. I'll try and hold the laminating pouch a little bit tight so that way I don't have any creases and that way it can catch at the bottom. This is the part where I was doing craft surgery. Lining them all up, making sure there's no dog hair. I mean, these are mine, so if there is dog hair, I guess that's just the way it goes, but I really like to not have dog hair in these. Okay, for this particular example, I use a permanent marker. And this is what I also use to measure out my like transparency film. Now, if you have a wet erase marker, that would probably work better because this is like just for me and I'm not gonna sell these. I don't mind using a permanent marker because then you are gonna have to go back and like wipe off some of the permanent marker, but it's so much easier for me to see the permanent marker when I'm cutting this kind of transparent film. So what we've done is the edge of your envelope, I want to measure 0.75 inches past the envelope. So if you have one of these nice nifty paper cutters, you can do the measurement right on there because you can see through the lamination film and it's basically like 3 of the 1/4 inch slots. And so I've got one mark up here, one mark down here. I feel like the permanent marker isn't really gonna matter at this point because once we chop this off, we're gonna have to trim down the sides so we can get closer to the envelope. This particular cut that we are about to make is so that I can hole punch and put these into my binders. And now that we have this by itself, I'm going to trim as close to the envelope as I can, and I'll show you what we do when we get to the top. You probably already know if you've watched any of these tutorials before. Okay, so I've trimmed down the sides, and now I'm gonna trim across the top of the opening so that way I can open up my envelope. This is like really far back. I'm gonna put it down here. And there we go. So if I've measured everything correctly, and I have my little mini 6-ring hole punch set to the correct settings, I'm gonna line this up. And my hole punch is kind of interesting because it has little grooves at the top that let me know when I've got the item centered on the hole punch. So that's what I'm trying to eyeball here. All right, and let's just use this binder. This is my Savings Challenge binder as my example. That looks super cute. Now, if you wanted to be fancy, you could round your corners down here if you feel like that's gonna catch on stuff, but you know, really at this point, it's up to you. It's like all about the personalization, which is why I like making my own envelopes. Because then if I change my mind on how this looks, I can always change it to something else. Okay, just like in our example, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna cut all of our now laminated envelopes down, and then we'll hole punch these as well. This one might be a little bit easier because the bottom's on this side. So I want 0.75 from the bottom of that envelope. I'm surprised all the kids aren't out to play. So where I film, it's like right in front of our apartment complex dog park, and all the kids are off school now. And yeah, you can definitely hear them when they come home from school. They just have way too much fun by this dog park because there's a lot of grass like right outside the dog park. So then they're going ahead and just playing soccer, all of that stuff. And my dog, the neighborhood like apartment complex kids know who my dog is because they'll go out and play with her when they see her. She loves to play. She doesn't like to listen all that much, but she loves to play. This was helpful for you. I hope you were able to get some nifty ideas for your cash envelopes and just take a little something out of the method that I have been using. Again, I really like to have some type of clear-sided cash envelope. It just makes it a little bit more fun for me. And yeah, just, you know, you can switch it up whenever you want. That's one of the beauties of doing a lot of things DIY. If you found this tutorial to be helpful, please let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you're looking to get an insight in my other method of making a clear cash envelope without using Cricut, you want to have some cool designs on there, but you don't have a Cricut machine, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Of course, I'm a brand new channel and it would really help me if you would like, comment, and subscribe because I love being a part of this budgeting community, and I really hope that you'll come back and join me for another video. Other than that, thank you so much for joining me again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.